and her daughter was made whole from that very hour. And sometimes I hear people say, and I don't know, this is just my own personal thinking, and y'all may think different. But I heard sometimes people say, you only have to ask God for one time. I'm like, no, I'm gonna be one of those women that saints that persistent. Just keep going back. Because he didn't do it the first time. Sometimes you have to go because he want to know if you're going to give up on your faith. Can you trust me when I say no the first time? Can you trust me when there's silence from you asking? Can you trust me when I refuse to give you what you want? Can you still trust me? Can you still have enough faith to say, God, I'm going to still continue to be persistent with my prayer? Because sometimes he wants to know if you're going to back out on your faith. Or do you have enough faith to last for a week? Can your faith last an hour? Can your faith last a day? Can your faith last a month? Can your faith last 20 years? How long can your faith last? At what point are you going to say, you know what? I'm giving up. Can you believe God to the very end? Can you be bold enough to say, like I told y'all today, it's been 20 years and my brother's still in prison, but I still believe. And when he get out in August, then this is going to be the time. And if it don't happen this time, I'm still going to believe God that he's going to do it. That God going to save me. I believe it. So we're going to get off that a little bit. And we're going to talk about the mustard seed. Mustard seeds generally take 3 to 10 days to germinate if placed under proper conditions, which include a cold atmosphere and relatively moist soil. Mature mustard seeds grow into shrubs. Now, I began to look at the mustard seed. How many times have we heard about have the faith the size of a mustard seed? All our lives, haven't we? All our lives, we've heard about this mustard seed. So I took a little time out to look into this thing. And so I'm going to read you got all these verses here. I'll just read a couple of them. I'll read the second one. And Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence from yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. It is like a grain of mustard seed, which, when it is sown in the earth, is less than all the seeds that be in the earth. So I began to look at the mustard seed. And something I never really paid attention to until I started looking at it. And it didn't say the size of a mustard seed. It said, have faith as a grain of the mustard seed. And something I've never seen a mustard seed, so let me get on the internet and find out about this little mustard seed. Now, the Bible says mustard seed is the smallest seed created. Plant seed created. And then, so you're taking the smallest seed that God created, and then on top of that, you're going to take it and get it down to the grain of that living seed. Now, God is saying that he wants us to have the faith the size of the grain of the mustard seed. So that tells me there that there is a lot of faith that we got to build up in ourselves. This thing is, and then the thing about it says that it said it's like a grain of mustard seed which a man took and cast in the garden and grew and waxed a great tree. And the fowls of the air lodged in the branches of it. This this mustard seed, normally grows about like a shrub, you know the size of a shrub. We all have shrubs in our yard. But one thing about this seed, it's the smallest plant that God created. But this smallest plant normally grows into a shrub, but this plant, as small as it is, can actually grow into a tree, at least 8 feet or higher. Now that tells me that God is saying that if we have the faith that normally would be in our box, which is the shrub, we can outdo that? You mean to tell me my faith can go past a shrub? That means I can grow my faith to something that it was never meant to be. It was never meant to be a tree, but it can become a tree. So it all depends on where your faith level is. Do you have enough faith to allow your faith to grow to what it normally would be, which is a shrub? Or can you allow your faith to go outside of the box and become something that can be greater than you could ever think or ask? That's the mustard seed. That's what God can do for us. God can take our little bitty mindset and do some of the most impossible things. But all he wants us to do is to believe that he actually can. He wants us to believe that he actually can do that. He wants whatever it is that's going on in your life, in our lives, he wants us to believe without a doubt. That's what we fall in at. You know, that devil mess with our minds, have us thinking all kinds of things in the middle of the night. We tossing and turning all night long trying to figure out how it's going to work. And God said, no, that ain't the kind of faith we're talking about. That's that faith that's in the box. Because the faith that's outside the box don't have sleepless nights. It's resting on Jesus. It's resting on his faith. So when I'm having sleepless nights, that's telling me that my faith ain't strong enough to believe that God can do what I'm having sleepless nights about. So we got to trust him. We got to believe him. And so what I'm going to end with is this little 1.22-second video about the mustard seed. And I hope you can view it. All I have is my iPad. Okay? Let me get it. It's good. Hold on. I'm going to have to play with it in a minute because sometimes I forget what stuff is. Yeah, I see it. This is that mustard seed tree. It says, the kingdom of heaven. See that little mustard seed? See those grains in that mustard seed? It's like a mustard seed. Though it is the smallest of all your seeds. Look at that. Yet when it grows, look at that faith being built up. It is the largest of the garden plants. And becomes a tree. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, nothing will be impossible for you. May God bless you.